Thanks, Joe. You know, when we talked about the role plays, we talked about coming out of your comfort zone, and right now I'm about to come out of my comfort zone. But I'm amongst friends. I'm going to give you a little bit of my experience with Friday Service Style in my restaurant. Hope you'll bear with me. We opened December 10th of last year, 2 weeks before Christmas, in the 6th largest shopping mall in the United States. You don't think I was a little bit nervous? I came to it with many years of experience in high volume and low volume stores, but it still was 2 weeks before Christmas. Did a great job in hiring the right people, folks with great personalities and beautiful smiles. And I always remember when Allie and her NSO team came to town and told me that they wanted to train the staff with Friday Service Style right from the beginning. And I thought, why not? They don't have any bad habits to overcome, and from what I've witnessed in the past, it was a perfect way to introduce our new guests to our new restaurant, a perfect beginning. The new staff embraced the NSO team and put so much enthusiasm into the first days, you could absolutely feel the excitement everywhere in the building. Clearly, even the most experienced servers that we brought on board, you knew that this was something totally new and different for them. As each of the 4 steps were introduced approximately every other day or so, and with all the role playing involved at each stage, I could see the lights were starting to click on for so many as they realized that this was way more than, can I take your order, please? They were starting to realize it was about making a connection with your guests. It was about exceeding expectations by delivering a personal kind of service where we asked questions to make sure we got it right. They started to realize the more you engage with your guests, the clearer things become and the easier it is to determine what you should be doing. Out of the 4 stages, the engagement stage seemed to be the one that opened many eyes. For the ones who embraced the step and made sure they absolutely connected with their guests, they soon became my shining stars. And to this day, continue to be the ones that is always smiling faces at their tables with people laughing, and they become my ambassadors in engagement. In this whole engagement step, I was fortunate enough to learn early in my life. My mother and father owned a small Italian restaurant when I was a young man. My mother used to tell me 3 things that will always make you successful in business. Serve great food, give great service, and finally make sure you know your guests and you know their whole story, plus be kind to them. And she was a perfect example of this. It seems like every person who came into her restaurant, she was able to call them by name. She'd give them a big hug on the instances. And for the most part, she loved these people. Whenever they would have a cocktail party at our house, my mom and dad, my mom would wake up early, clean the house until it was immaculate, make a small bar area in the kitchen, and then make hors d'oeuvres all day long. And when the guests arrived, many also were the same guests from a restaurant. She would meet them at the door, give them a big hug, grab them by the hand, bring them to a seat or a couch. And at that point, pretty much, they never had to move. My mother was there, need another drink? Here, let me get you something else. Here, try this. She made sure it was perfect. She wanted it to be perfect because she loved these people. She did this because it was important to her and she loved doing it. These people were her livelihood, and she made sure there was a connection with all of them. So as I said, I learned early. I've always believed that it's important to treat all your guests as if they were the most important people in your life. And even more importantly, treat your loyal guests like they were a part of your family. It's not uncommon for a server or bartender to say to me, Carl, let me introduce you to. Because they also know how important it is to have great successes and to build your loyal guests every single day. I've had a bunch of different managers come to my restaurant and help this year, mostly to cover for vacations and that type of thing. And so many times I've heard, your guests are so nice here, not like in my store. And they are. But I believe it's more than just our people who are nice. People are nice everywhere. Well, when they are treated with that personal connection that you give so genuinely, that kindness comes out of them and it gets noticed. Just ask my servers and bartenders about the earnings. They'll tell you it gets noticed. I've got a really nice success story I would like to share before I finish. And this one I'll never forget. It was a busy Saturday night, and it's not uncommon in my restaurant to hear the bell ringing frequently at my bar. We celebrate pretty much everything. But there was this one moment I heard it ringing like crazy. I looked over, it was my server, Kessa. She was there at the bell with a young handicapped child in her arms, letting him ring the bell like he owned the place. The bartenders and the guests alike were cheering for him, adding to the excitement. It was crazy. It was a frenzy. It was beautiful. I cannot honestly tell you with any accuracy how excited the boy was. You could just see it on his face, the joy, the happiness he was experiencing. It was without a doubt a perfect moment for him. 3 days later, I got a letter in the mail from Mom. She says, every time we go into a restaurant, it's almost like my son isn't there. He's always overlooked because of his handicap. And I realize it may cause discomfort at times for some, but he's my son. Your server Kessa had done something special, so special for me and my family, and I wanted to make sure she was recognized for it. Again, I have to tell you, I get choked up when I see this kind of stuff. And of course, we recognize Kessa and the James Bronze Star that day. And it's when you get something like this, that's when you really understand that there's so much more to engagement and the possibilities are endless. By staying focused and leading your teams with relentless energy every day and doing what Friday does best with such passion and pride, you'll also call it Friday Service Style. Thank you for your time.
Carl, thanks. That was definitely inspiring. Well, listen, we have a new service style pin that we're introducing today. The service style pin is given out by directors and above, and it's given when we see Friday service style in action. And Carl, I want to give you the first Friday service style pin for your relentless approach. You validated your brand new restaurant in 90 days after we opened with Friday service style. We just did a brand standards visit at your restaurant and we scored 100%. And I'm so proud to be working with you for so long. But I also want to thank you for everything you've done for me, for our group, and for Fridays.
Thank you, James.
Congratulations.